keeping up with technology. However, spending 25,000 pounds on a ice sculpture isn't keeping up with technology. It's trying to keep up with the Joneses, and that is what my problem is. That we're making it so hard for people to get married and to kind of save face. Because if you, like we discussed before the show, yes, there are couples that are getting married in school halls and having it really low key. They're very far and few in between, and it takes them a lifetime of living it down.
And I would also like to come into the point which you brought in, which is, do they enjoy the day which they have prepared for? I do the wedding ceremonies, and I see quite often that by the time of the day when the vida is happening, that is the wedding ceremony is finished and they are leaving, sometimes their eyes are red because they have started very early in the morning. Most probably they have slept late at night. And because of an early start and the pressures of looking good on the day, and getting 3 hours work of preparation in front of a beautiful designer, and then preparing for the accurately right dress. Remember, the pressures once in a lifetime. So you are going through so much, and then you are coming in front of spotlights where everybody's looking at you, taking your photographs, taking your videos, everybody's looking at you. And so many things happen at that time that the bride and the groom don't get that chance
to really revel in the day's events.
Yes, to create that chemistry, to enjoy that part. They have to be there for each other, not for this or that or for the person who is looking there. Yes, they should go and mingle with them once the wedding is finished in a very informal way. But do they get time to do that?
Probably not. Harpreet, you are from Finishing Touch Cars.
Yes, right.
Tell us how the needs of the wedding party have changed over the last few years.
It's changed quite a lot recently. Before, people use, the uncle's car to take them to the wedding. Now they want multiple cars. They want, the Phantoms, the Hummers, the vintage cars. They have multiple cars at weddings. One car for the groom, 2 or 3 cars for their family and friends. Another car maybe for the children, so they're involved in the wedding day. More and more brides are booking cars just, for the morning bit and taking them to reception. It's not just about the guy having
So it's not just that simple black limo that
no,
takes you around.
No, it's a lot more than that. Everyone wants to be involved in the wedding day. It's about including your family, your friends and the kids. And before, brides used to book cars, but now the brides want, a grand entrance too, like a groom does.
Well, I'll open this up to whoever wants to jump right in. Are we so celebrity obsessed that that's what it is, that this is our one day to be in the spotlight, be a celebrity, so to speak, and hence whether we can afford it or not, we want our fleet of cars.
Yeah.
We want that really amazing, videographer and photographer who is going to make us look like Beyonce or whoever. Is that what we're doing now? Because really, why would we need a fleet of cars to take us from the Gurdwara to the hall to the, what's the point, basically?
I think it's because it's a special day. And if you can do it, why not do it? That's what I think, Fair enough, I admit there's part of it, you do see other people doing things, so you want what they have. But you only do it because you want it as well. You don't do it just because they've got it. You do it because you want it.
Sure.
Can I just say, it's not actually, it's supply and demand. If the client wants it, then we cater for it.
Right.
But it's media that's actually creating the demand. So your magazines, your TV channels, the films, Bollywood itself, that's where we're getting all the influence. So isn't that something that we need to...
Of course, I completely, I am in media, and I do understand that media should take some responsibility on what kind of images we're portraying. However, more important than media, it's the parents who need to instill in their children what's priority and what isn't priority. If we're going to tell our kids that it's important to have X, Y, and Z, then when they grow up, that's what they're going to know.
But it's also parents that feel, like I believe Himangbai said, that, we've had this wedding in our family, we need to do this again. So surely the parents need to be re-educated as well. But there is a demand, as I say, there is a demand for lavish weddings, but it's the media, it's the parents, it's everyone's mindset has to change if that's what you want. But until that's changed, lavish weddings will definitely still continue.
And also when we say weddings, we should concentrate on weddings itself, because wedding itself is not costly.
Yes.
So if you go to a gurudwara and get into wedlock, it's not going to cost you a huge amount. If you same way go to a temple and do the wedding ceremony, again, it's not a lot of money. It's very little money comparatively. It's all that has grown around it.
You know
So
what?
it's all that invitation cards. It's those industries where the people wear special clothes or the jewelry, everything. So everything around the wedding has grown. The ceremony and the spirituality and the wedding itself, the name wedding, is still there with the lowest cost possible.
Hitesh, you said something very interesting earlier, and it was basically because you've been in the industry for so long, and Harpreet, I think you agreed with this, and to a certain extent, I guess I do as well. If you have a wedding that, for argument's sake, is £100,000, the couple might be a little bit more cautious about throwing away that marriage because of the investment from their parents, the hard-earned money that went into that wedding. Does everybody agree with that?
I agree with it.
It's there. It's always going to be. Everything is as good as its foundation. Any building, any marriage is as good as its foundation. A marriage, I think, started off as just a simple contract between a farmer and his daughter in the next village, and they just exchanged a daughter for, land, I think. Don't forget, marriage, you could take it back to its roots. You can go 100 years into the future. It could, it's going to morph into all sorts. It will evolve. It will devolve. Marriage is a unity of two people. That's correct. But what about their families and their friends who are going to also meet? It's a friendship. It's an alliance of two different people, So when we say, okay, you could go into a temple or a gurudwara and get married, you can even go to a registry. You could go to the Bahamas and sit on the beach and just you two. Or you could go to Las Vegas. That'd be great, and gamble away all that money you'd have spent on the wedding. But when we're talking about a unity of two whole groups of people, then when you've got a nice a get-together, a nice lavish little event that will be ingrained in your memory. Okay, on the day itself, right, you're in a whirlwind of thoughts, but your subconscious is still awake. It's still recording everything that's going on. And when you sit back and reflect, and obviously we'll help you with the videos and the photos.
Of course you will, yeah.
To remember your event. We'll make sure you don't forget it, yeah? But when you look back at your event, there is the positivity that's captured on the day, the amount of fun or whatever. I'm not saying, for the viewers, for everybody else, I'm not saying have basement value weddings, or I'm not saying have, sort of like...
the most lavish, expensive
weddings that cost more than going to space. It's at the end of the day, what you've got to do is reflect your budget, your future budget, whatever, your affordability factor.
Right.
Take that into consideration, but at the same time, it is about having fun. I always say this to my bride and groom. Forget everything else. If you two don't have fun on the day, everything's not worth it.
And
You've got to enjoy it.
I respect what you're saying, because you are, in a sense, kind of like a silent observer, or maybe in your case, not such a silent observer. However, we're gonna go to a break, but I'm just gonna leave us with this, and we'll continue in a minute. With more and more Asians getting divorced, it's not really an investment in your future. It's just basically throwing money down the drain, isn't it? We'll answer that question after this short break.
Okay.